There are very few things in this world that can cause us as human beings to feel isolated, alone and helpless as when someone forgets about us. If they forget about a significant moment in our lives that we share with them, then it can cause us to feel that they don't care about us and that we've got no one really paying attention, they don't value us or treasure us or care for us particularly. Or if they say they're going to do something, they forget about it. They say they're going to meet us or pick us up or do something for us and they forget all about it. It can cause us to feel again like we've got no one to help us, to depend upon. It's just us against the world. And there are a few things that can cause us to feel as threatened, as frightened, as panicked, as when all of a sudden disaster happens in our life. Something around us falls apart. And suddenly we are looking like rabbits in a headlight, not sure what to do, just panicked and looking for some place of rescue and refuge. And this is something that we experience perhaps on a daily basis or certainly regularly in our lives. And it's something we experience also as Christians. That we face situations and we can either feel that God has forgotten us, or if he hasn't forgot about us, he's not really capable of helping us out. Or we're in utter disaster and we just don't know what to do. Where is God? What can we do? How can we respond to this? It's because of these realities and these experiences that we so often have that I want us just to reflect today on a few verses that come from the Old Testament book of Isaiah that we can try and memorize, that we can try and equip ourselves and stick them in our locker so that we can pull them out when we need them. When we're feeling in those situations of alone and vulnerable and uncertain of the future, or in a moment of disaster, what are we going to do? Where do we go for refuge and help? Well, I want us to think about these verses and to have them come to our mind in these moments. And the section is taken from Isaiah chapter 40. It's a section of scripture in which God is speaking to his people. They are facing unknown uncertainty, unknown problems, unknown disasters. And they're worried and they're fear-filled and they feel isolated and forgotten. And they're saying, God doesn't know what he's doing. He's forgotten about us. Or God isn't capable of leading us through this situation. How are we going to manage? What are we going to do? And it's into this situation that God speaks to his people words that are of comfort. Isaiah chapter 40 begins with the phrase, "Comfort, O comfort my people." And these words of comfort are there to show his people his character, what he's like. And then to show them what to do in response to that, how that might impact them and shape them. So at the end of the chapter we read these words, and these are what I think would be good for us just to try and get into our head and memorise if you can. It says this, "Do you not know? Have you not heard? The Lord is the everlasting God, the creator of the ends of the earth. He never grows faint or weary. His understanding no one can fathom. He gives power to the weak, and he strengthens the weary. Even youths grow tired and weary. Even young men stumble and fall. But those who put their trust in the Lord shall renew their strength." A few things to note about these verses, why they're so helpful to us in times of uncertainty and disaster. The first section tells us what God is like. He is the everlasting God. He's the creator of the ends of the earth. His power is unmatched. His glory unmatched as well. But also, it tells us what his nature is like. It says he gives strength to the weary. He empowers and strengthens the weak. That's what he does. He gives. That's what he does. That's his job. That's his nature. Not all he does, but that's something that you could say is his character, his nature. That's what he does. So they're thinking, well, I'm in a disaster. I feel alone. Are you really there? Can he manage this situation? Can he help me? Is this God really worth trusting in? And Isaiah is saying, do you not know who he is? Have you not heard what he's like? This is what he does. He strengthens the weak. He helps and empowers the weary. His understanding no one can fathom. It simply means that you can't begin to plunge the depths of God's understanding. In the same way that we could never possibly hope to explore the deepest areas and regions of our universe. They're just unreachable, unmeasurable, unfathomable, he's saying. That's what God's knowledge is like, but infinitely greater than that. Infinitely more immeasurable than that. So there is nothing that's going to take God by surprise. There is no path in our life that he won't understand or grasp or know what to do or know what he's doing. And it's there to give us his understanding that we can trust him. That he does give strength to the weary and the weak. But it's the second thing is the reminder to note here is that struggling and being weary and weak is part of our human life. It's part of our existence. We've been made as creatures of dependence. We depend upon others, depend upon each other, depend upon our parents and our friends and our family, and ultimately depend upon Him. We are people that cannot be infinitely strong. It's going to be a situation for us that we're not going to know what to do or how to react. We're going to get tired and weary. He says even those who you'd expect to be filled with energy and strength and fervour to do these things are going to grow weary and weak. That's part of our human existence. So what do? How can we manage? When disaster strikes, when unknown certainties of the future take place, what's going to happen? How do we deal with them? Do we simply have no hope, like a rabbit in the headlights? Or perhaps have you seen one of those videos before when an earthquake hits, that people suddenly look around as to where to go to find refuge, whether it be a door frame or underneath a sturdy table. They look for that place of refuge and shelter. It's like Isaiah is saying, when these situations come along, you need to know that the place you run to is to the Lord Himself. Why? Because He gives strength to the weary. Because those who come to Him will be renewed in their strength. It's a certainty, it's a promise. The point Isaiah seems to be saying, and namely we understand this is God speaking through Isaiah to His people, saying, look, do you not know? And that's why I think it's worth memorising that initial part. Do you not know? Have you not heard? What a great way to think. And I think about this in these moments of situations like that when I feel unsure what to do, how to manage, how to cope. What am I going to do? I speak to myself, Adam, do you not know? Have you not heard? The Lord is the everlasting God. You're not going to be in a situation that He can't manage or cope with. But also, do you not know, Adam, have you not heard? That if you go to Him, your strength will be renewed. It's not a one-time action. Notice that it says it will be renewed. It's this idea of a continual renewal. You keep coming back to Him, you'll keep finding strength again. It's not just I'll turn up once and I'm therefore constantly strengthened with this great power. I've suddenly got my energy, my strength, my source of being constantly strong. I don't need it anymore. No, it's this continual trust, continual hope in Him. And in doing so, find renewal. I think this is a really helpful verse for us to memorise. That it would equip us in times of turmoil, uncertainty, where we don't know what to do and we're feeling weak, that our legs are weary and we don't know what to do anymore, that we're just going to feel like we're stumbling. In a situation like that, we remember that we're not forgotten, that God hasn't lost sight of us and dropped us, but that we speak to ourselves and say to ourselves, do you not know? Have you not heard? If you're watching this today and you're unsure where to find strength, unsure what to do, like that person in an earthquake, not sure where to run to, then I urge you to run to the Lord. Run to God. Run to the Creator of the ends of the earth, the one who never, ever grows tired or weary, whose understanding no one could fathom. Go to Him and find your strength. And if you're feeling like you've been forgotten, feeling that God doesn't know what He's doing, uncertain about the future, put your trust in Him and know that through your relationship with Christ, with His Son Jesus, you will know and He will lead you and guide you and strengthen you and uphold you because He's promised to do so. Do you not know? Have you not heard? The Lord is the everlasting God. He never grows tired or weary. His understanding no one can fathom. He empowers the weak and strengthens the weary. Even youths grow tired and weary, and young men stumble and fall, but those who put their trust in the Lord shall renew their strength.